Meantime, let's get back to this country and the Washington. The chief national security correspondent, Jennifer Griffin, is live for us at the Pentagon.
They did it.
Jennifer.
Well, Trace, I think what's so extraordinary about tonight's strikes, not only all eyes were on Fordo, and for the past week we've been talking about the B-2 bombers and the massive ordnance penetrators. Those are the 30,000-pound GBU-57 bunker buster.
I honestly can't believe they actually did it. I can't believe it.
Bombs. What we can report tonight, after Sean Hannity spoke to the president, we learned that there were 6 massive ordnance penetrators dropped on Fordo. And as the president wrote on Truth Social, that Fordo site is gone. My sources tell me that those bunker buster bombs.
30,000 pound bomb penetrates up to 200 feet. That's just unbelievable. And the only aircraft that can carry this type of a bomb is the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber. That's the only one in the world. That's wild.
Bombs would have been dropped through the air ventilation shafts at Fordo. So most likely 3 bunker busters through each of those shafts. We had been focusing on the entrances. There are 2 entrances to the Fordo site, which is 300 feet underground. We've also reported that the MOP bomb can penetrate about 200 feet underground, but they work in pairs. The B-2 bomber, which flew out of Whiteman Air Force Base, they fly nonstop and are refueled along the way to this site at Fordo. They drop one MOP bomb, a 30,000-pound bomb that goes about 200 feet down. There's soil that is then removed, exposed, and then the second bomb, which drops into a hole that has a radius of about 25 feet. It goes into the same hole and can go even deeper. So Fordo, we understand, is gone. That is significant because that was the main nuclear enrichment site.
So they literally have to drop 2 bombs to create one crater, and then from that crater, the second rocket comes in and creates a bigger hole so they can go deeper. Wow.
And it was deeply fortified in that mountain. But then there are the 2 other sites. You have Natanz, which had 3 underground enrichment facilities. Those 3, we understand that 30 Tomahawk missiles were fired from U.S. submarines about 400 miles away from these sites, the sites at Isfahan and Natanz. Those U.S. submarines were most likely Ohio-class converted guided missile subs. Most likely the USS Georgia or Florida were involved in those strikes. What I'm being told, though, is at Isfahan is an even harder target than Fordo. We hadn't talked about it as much this week because all the focus was on the B-2s and the MOP bombs.
I wonder where the submarines came through. Do you think they come through here and they just like peeked for a second? They don't even have to peek out anymore. They can just launch the rocket from under the water and then just drop it in there. That's wild.
And Fordo, but Isfahan is where the uranium hexafluoride is, where the centrifuges are made, and my understanding is there is a tunnel into the mountain there, and it is much deeper than at Fordo, and so we will have to wait and see the bomb damage assessment at that site to see how whether it was completely destroyed. I'm told from very knowledgeable sources that that was most likely the hardest site, so we'll have to see.
I know we're still getting new information coming in here, Jennifer, but just for kind of clarification here, we have been told, or we've been kind of reporting that the B-2s went in and they went into Fordo and may have dropped as many as 6 of the bunker busters, and there were as many as 30 Tomahawks fired at Natanz and Isfahan. And I'm wondering, do we know, have we ruled out the possibility of any bunker busters being used on Isfahan and on Natanz?
I'm told that the bunker busters were used at Fordo and that it was the Tomahawks that targeted Natanz and Isfahan. So at this point in time, you would have had at least 3 B-2 bombers there above Fordo. Again, when we woke up this morning, all eyes were on the reports and the sightings, the radar trackers, the flight trackers who saw that there were those 6 B-2 bombers flying towards Guam. And now if you were to fly from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri all the way to Iran, let's say, that's a 30-hour straight flight. So those bombers
Do those bombers have toilets in them? Or did the boys pee in the bottle? 30 hours.
30-hour straight flight. So those bombers could not possibly have been involved in this strike. That's when we look at what would have been flying east. Clearly, some B-2 bombers from Whiteman flew east, and that's why we saw this week about 30 air refuelers that were positioned in Europe and along the way and throughout the Middle East, because they would have been required to create an air refueling bridge to get those B-2s. It's a 15-hour flight if you go east from Whiteman to Fordo. And so those bombers would have flown east, and they would have been refueled along the way, and they would be on their way back home to Whiteman as we speak, Trace.
Jennifer Griffin, we'll get back to you. Jennifer, thank you.
And there you have it, folks. I honestly can't believe they did it. Trump did say he's going to make a decision within 2 weeks, and he did it within 2 days. That's within 2 weeks. I still can't believe it. They actually did it. I still can't believe it. This is pretty wild. The U.S. military had to be really confident that this could be done precisely, right, before they pulled the trigger, because the whole world is watching them. They have to pull this off clean. There's a lot of reputation on this. I'm gonna say something. I've seen a lot of posts on social media saying that United States enters a war with Iran. Like, people are scared, people don't want to be drafted, they don't want to go to war. Here's my opinion on this. I don't think we're gonna see US troops on the ground in Iran. I think this was like a quick in and out mission. I'm not no expert, but that's just my opinion. I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think Iran really has anything to fight with. Sure, Iran's gonna, launch some missiles like they have been in the last couple days towards Israel, and unfortunately they might actually launch some into American bases in Middle East. So that might escalate. I just don't think a full-scale war is on the plate this time around, because Iranians are pissed. I mean, they have a reason to be pissed, right? But I don't think we're gonna see like a full-scale Iraq 2.0 with Iran. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think the warfare is different now. We watched a lot of Ukrainian drone videos, and the war has changed by a lot in this just such a short time. In like the last 20 years, the war has changed by a lot. Like I said, I don't know. I can't predict the future, but that's my take on it. I don't think we're gonna see a big old war with Iran. I'm not no expert. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Підпишіться free, це безкоштовно, and we'll see you guys next time. До побачення.